Hello guys, welcome to our next video of React.js series. So in this video, we will start understanding what are components, what are React components. All right. So we will first see, we will go to our app.js component, which is this one in SRC directory of our first React application, the MD React application which we created, and this was our page. So, okay. So we will understand, we'll try to understand what's happening over here. So this app.js is the component, all right? So in React, everything is a component. Every page itself is a component, and everything what you see inside a page can be divided into sub-components. Okay, we will see that in depth later on. So first, let's just assume that this whole page is one component. Okay, this whole page is one component, app.js. And in here, you see there is this function named as app, which is similar as the file name. Okay, and it's just looks like a JavaScript function. So that's it. A component is basically a function. Okay, and a function returns something, and that is also true. And now the special thing about component is that function has to return JSX. Okay. So what does it have to return? It has to return JSX. Okay. Just a second. So what is JSX? JSX is basically similar to HTML. Okay. So JSX is similar to HTML. You see this syntax is familiar. You may be familiar. You will be understanding it a bit. It looks familiar. It looks similar to HTML, but it is not completely HTML. You see, there is class name. You know that there is class, but now there is something called class name. This is same as the class, but in React we use class name instead of class and make it camel case. Camel case, by camel case I mean for every new word the first letter will be capital, class name. So N is capital over here. Okay. And why so? Because class is in JavaScript, it has it's object oriented. There are class and objects, so class is a keyword. So that's why React has to change it to be called as class name. But don't worry about it. Why it is called class name? You just have to note that there will be class name, camel case structure, and as well as there is some special thing called there is special thing, special change which you see there is a bracket. Okay, these curly brackets. So they are so that's the magic. So in curly brackets you can write JavaScript. So there is just logo over here that you are importing. It's an image. An SVG is an image just like JPG, IMG, PNG you can say for now. So and it's an image you are giving it in SRC, and but it's taking it as a variable. Okay, so you can write whole JavaScript in these brackets. So basically in HTML, you are writing JavaScript. So when you are able to mix HTML and JavaScript, it becomes JSX. So this is as simple as that. Nothing fancy, no rocket science. So, but now we will create our own component. So for that, I will be deleting whatever it is inside this app file, and other than that everything else as well. So we will delete this as well. We will delete this as our server will start crashing, so don't worry about it. We will delete everything inside SRC directory. We will set up everything again. We don't need it, so we are just deleting it. Let me do it here. So we deleted everything except app.js, and now we will delete everything inside app.js. We will start by writing RFC, React Functional Component. I press enter. You will see that it has created a component for us as well. So wait a minute. It may not work for you. You need an extension called that extension is basically ES7. You write ES7 and it will show up ES7, this one, ES7 plus React Redux snippets. You see it has 8 million downloads roughly. So you will download this, then RF, these shortcuts will work, which I'm going to tell you now. So like this one, RFC, you see, you will enter. So this snippet this code will automatically be written for you. Now, if you go to Chrome, you see it's giving some errors. So you see can't resolve index.js. Oh, my bad. I don't have to delete the index.js file. So let me come over here and I will undo that. Okay, restore it. And I will go to index.js file over here and I can remove this part, report web vitals, and I don't have to remove use it as well. And it's giving me index.css error. So I don't want that as well. So I'm deleting that as well. So I was just going through these errors and deleting that. I deleted those. So in summary, my bad, since React 18 React gets updated again and again. So you might even have a different index.js when you see this video. Maybe you will have same. So what you have to do is you have to comment out the index.css and report web vital, and as well as at the end you have to comment this. Now that the server is running successfully and we come to Chrome and you see how we don't see errors over here. And now here we can write our code over here. So yeah, we go to Chrome and you can see app my React component is printed on our screen. It's showing on our screen. Okay, so we can call it my first React component. Okay, and if you go over here, you see there is my first React component, and we just have document.get element by id root. We are mounting app on it, and you can see now this is our first component. So there are some things that you need to know about React component. So you see, first we will cover few shortcuts to create a component. We saw RFC. We will see RFCE. Okay, so you see now what's the difference over here? The export default initially it was written right over here. Now it's coming at the end. Okay, if you go over here, the app is still there. Okay, these are just simple variations. If you see other applications on the internet or somewhere in a tutorial, so you will not be confused. That's why I'm telling you what these all shortcut keys, how a React component can be created. So there is RAFC. Now you see what's happening over here. It's again, it's same. So you see, uh, so this is again, it's using the arrow function syntax to create it. And if there is RAFCE, so it is creating the export default is in the separate line. Okay, it's in the separate line, and it's creating this component. But and you will see the app over here. So there is one tweak. If you use RAFC, and you save it, so it is exporting it as an export const tab. So if you want to use it, you have to use these brack- brackets, imported like brackets, then it will work fine. So these are the basically default exports and named exports thing. So and if you wanted that, so you have to use RAFCE. You want to use an export default function feature in a default way, so you will use RAFCE. So I will be using RAFCE usually. Okay, so this will create our component, and so let's keep it for now. So that's a few variations that I wanted to tell you. Okay, so you see from where we are. Yes. We have, yeah, we have covered these, and we have covered HTML and CSS difference, and importing React in is optional in React 18. So yeah, let me go through that, and let me one return statement and fragments. Okay. So now you see there is this line written import React from React, and you see we are not using React anywhere over here. So we can delete it and save it. and we reload, it will come over here. Okay. So usually the extension is like not updated. So in React 18, we don't need to write that line. If it is an older version of React, you will be needing to import that React line as well, even if you are not using it. Otherwise, it will give you errors. So yeah, that first line is optional. And now you see we can, since it's a div, so let's say we can put it inside an h1 tag, or you can say I am a heading. Then you can say, sorry, I am a paragraph, just like you have it in HTML. So there is this heading and then there is this paragraph. So this is similar plain HTML, and you can see now the important thing is that I want to highlight one more thing, that let's say you want to write something outside this div. So you say you will write another div, and you see you write this and you create the say I am another paragraph. So it is giving you this errors, red errors. So this common error, you have to read it. Adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. So adjacent JSX element, this error usually comes, and this reddish syntax basically is telling you that the main thing is that you cannot have you can only have one component returning from you can only have one tag returning from a React component. So there are two components running. This one div is ending here, and then the second div which is ending here. So you can only have one parent. So you can create a div at the top and close it at the end. Now it will not give you error. If I press Control S, it will be formatted automatically. I am pressing Control S, Command S, whatever. I saved it, so it is formatted automatically. I will tell you as well how you can do that your VS Code. If it is not saving, don't worry about it. So it is saved and the error is gone and the server is running fine. If you come to Chrome, you see I'm a paragraph, I'm another paragraph. So this is the another feature of React, that you can only return one element. Okay. You can only return one element, and there can be multiple children elements. So you can create a div, or you can use React.fragment, which is for now we will need to import React. First of all, now we can delete it and write React dot fragment, and you will write slash React dot fragment over here as well. If it's not writing it for you. So again, it's giving us the same thing. The difference is that now there is no div created over here. Initially, it was creating that div. Okay, if I am to show you how it is doing it. So now it has created an extra div, and now these divs are inside it. So yeah, that's one thing. And instead of even using React.fragment, there is another shortcut for it. You can just remove it, keep it empty tags and closing empty tag. It's in React. This is also React fragment. So they will also give the same output. Okay, no extra div. So that is about it, about React fragments. And now we don't need it since we are not using React.fragment. So we don't need it. So it will work fine. The component will work fine. So now let's see which topic do we have. Sorry, let's we can see over here as well. Is optional, must return. In camel case is covered, like class name, on click, and everything else we will see that they are now camel case. React.fragment is covered. Composite pattern, nest components, can use component within a component. Now we will see how you can create multiple components. Okay. Now you see now we will create another component inside our SRC directory. We can call it my second component, and we will use it in we will write a component name in capital letters and in camel case. Okay, you see the every first letter, it's capital. Now we can say RAFCE. Okay, so and now I will write I am the second component. So we will not be seeing any output on our screen for now. Even if I reload it, what we have to do is we have to come over here and we have to call it. We will do my second component. I have started typing it and it's giving me the suggestion. I will select it and it will be automatically imported at the top. Okay, if it doesn't, you will have to manually import it. It will import it automatically for you as well. Now you see, I am second component. It's rendering over here as well. Now, let me make it more fancier. So your second component, second component. Now you see how you can call another component in one component. Now even you can call this component two times. Now you see second component, I am second component, second component, I am second component. Even three times. Now it's static so you can copy it as many times as you want. This is called reusability. Reusability in React. This is the important feature of React. But and we will see it in detail if when we learn about props later on. You see, I have mentioned over here. This is called the composite pattern. You can create multiple, you can use component within a component and nest components. And we will see how you can nest, and we will cover in props and children as well when we go over that in later. So again, reusability, you can see we used a component 2 or 3 times, and there is another way of creating components, which was using class components. What we are using now, it's a functional component because our component is a function. Okay, this is an arrow function, ES6 arrow function. But there used to be another way of creating in React 17 and before earlier than React 18. We used class components to create components. Okay, so it is not, we are not going to cover class components. It's not part of our series. We are only focusing functional components because they are the latest, and you should always use functional component. You should avoid using class components. But I will give you a little walkthrough of that. I'll show you how class component looks so that you can, when you on the internet you see a class component, you are not scared. You will know that it is an older code. Okay. So now what you see do is RCC, which is React class component. So you see now you have export default class component example, and it's extending from something, and it's render. It's using a render method, and it's returning over here. And this is the class component. We save it, and we will not do anything else. We'll just come over here and import that class component. Okay, it's suggesting me I will click on it, enter, or click on it. It will automatically import it at the top, or you will import it manually, save it, go to Chrome. You see it's showing you class component. It's over here, class component example. Let me create the heading over here as well quickly. So this is the class component. Okay, now what you have to, let me just put some more stuff over here. Okay, so this is another way of, this is another syntax that will be very common in React class component. Okay, see class component, you see over here. Class component on this variable that we created, state variable over here, it's coming over here. What is the state? What is the render? What is constructor? These are usually the syntax of AI class component. If you want, you can comment. You can leave your comment. I will create another video on a class component, explaining it in detail. But in short, you just need to know this, that they are the class components, and you can use class component inside function components and functional components inside class components, and that's it. And the priority will be always be to use functional component. Class are old version. Okay, so yeah, I guess that was about it in this for this video. About that was all about the component thing. Next video we will cover about the important extension, like how I was able to save auto format my code where I was saving. So yeah, see you in the next video, and yeah, don't forget to join our community, Discord community. Link will be in the description. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe this channel, and do share your feedback if you have any. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, see you in the next video. Goodbye. Take care.